Hey, welcome to Final Cut Pro 10. We're going to start off with the basics on this one. I'm going to just show you a few little things just to get started, and we're going to fly into something interesting. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so let's begin. This is a basic video, but I just realized something. I'm not really a basic kind of guy. Even when I try to start off really simple, I always kind of get too creative. Um, I think a lot of people, when they see me do stuff, they're like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. But I think there's a lot of videos out there, great value. And down the road, I'll probably reference some of them that I've seen that got me inspired. But I'm a little bit different in terms of my basics. So I throw in the basic stuff, but just to give you a heads up, I throw in the basic stuff, but I kind of always go creative. So hopefully that's good with you. And I notice that I'm a little dark these days, but that might be a good thing too. Okay, so let's begin. So on the left-hand side, you have, the area that we call the browser. And as you can see, I have a lot of dates here. I have some projects. I have my library, and it says 1-1. I have to the right the canvas, and down below the timeline. So I've already kind of jumped into it because I've made a few things, and these are ongoing. As I see something, I'm like, oh, I got to record this for everybody. So here we go. So in my projects, I've already created one, and we're going to be playing with, and as you can see right in the middle, right above the timeline, it says Untitled Project 1. So that's the one that we're doing. And what I've done is I've kind of enlarged it so you can see some stuff. And it's about 21 seconds long, the clip that I've selected. And I'm going to hit on the keyboard Command minus, and it makes it to a manageable size. It's 21 seconds, so it's only going to be so big, or so small, excuse me. You can make it as big as you can see all the frames. Now, underneath that, there's a few other projects and a lot of other possibilities. But now you can see where the playhead is parked, and in the canvas you can see my subject matter, which is a little bit different looking anyways. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, it's a basic, the basic use of tools, but I'm going to be creative, as I always try to be. Now, just so you know, what I always tend to do is I have my browser open because I'm looking for stuff, and above that I have music and text and everything here up on the top left, and then on the top right you have the way you can look at things. But this is the HUD, and a HUD is short for heads-up display, and it has various things right here. And the things that we're going to look at today under the basics is under compositing, the blending mode, because we're going to do that, and we're going to do color. And see this little triangle right here, it's set, that's in there. So I have a color clip that I've kind of altered it already. So what I'm going to do, and this is a fun thing, just so you know, these are the tools, these are the tips, these are the tricks that are really make you go a lot faster. So right in the middle of the window you have this gray bar, and that's where I said before the Untitled Project track is named. And there's an arrow with a little arrowhead on the opposite way, or the reverse of a roof or something. But when you click it, these are your keyboard shortcuts as well as the name of the tool that you could be selecting. The main one that you use all the time is A, select, and that's the black arrow. The next one that's really cool is P for position. What that lets you do is it lets you move this clip, because see, when I do that it snaps right back. But with the position you can move it around, and that's really important when you start getting more clips coming around. So okay, so there's that. And then the next one that I use a lot is B, which is the blade tool, because I cut. Now if you go to the edge of the clip here, and as you can see, the selection tool changes, and it looks kind of like two arrows with kind of a few other things. That's how you can shorten the clips, and that's front and back, right? Command Z to undo, if you don't know what you just did. And you can do to the front and to the back. Now, if you have audio, you'll get another selection, and it'll be not a double arrow with a line in between, but just two arrows. And you'll see down, if there's audio, where you can do a fade in, fade out. We're going to look at that in just a moment, because we have to look for sound effects. So here's the other fun thing. Now, in this basic video, I know I just grabbed a clip. It was already there, but what I basically did is I went through one of the events the libraries inside of here and grab this clip. To be honest, I can't remember what date it was that I brought it in, but it wasn't too long ago. But here it is nonetheless. Touch it, turns yellow, it's ready to go. That's the selection. And so on the far right, that's what all these tools are all about. It's telling you about that clip that you just selected. And then when we do color, there it goes, and information just about the selection tool. So when I come back here, make sure that that's selected. Now this is a cool one to know. And on your keyboard, you hold the Option key and drag up. And see what I did? Made another clip. And I'm going to make one more clip. Okay? And the reason why is because I'm going to turn this into a 3-channel effect. So the camera on the timeline always starts from the top down. So we're only looking at the topmost clip. Okay? If we don't want to see the topmost clip, you have to hit the V as in victory, visibility. And when I click the V, it goes, it's not visible. It's the next one down. I hit this one, it's not available or visible. Hit that one, so there's nothing. And that's how you do stuff. Visibility, you turn it on, turn it off to see if it's working. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look like there's 3 different colored layers. Okay, so I'm on the top one. I go to the right hand side. I hit the color triangle right here in the HUD, and it gives me this effect, or excuse me, this window. And I have color, and I have saturation, and I have exposure. So I am going to, it looks a little bit dark, and I will try to make it, okay, that's the whites. I want to do the midtones, bring it up a little bit, maybe a little bit of the blacks, just to, not too much, because see, it starts to posterize. So then I'm going to go back to the color, and I'll leave that one that color, okay? Now, I'm going to do a few things, because already you're seeing the shadow box change colors, but we'll address that in just a second. So I'm going to go to the next one, but before I do that, I hit the V to disable that, and I hit to the middle one, and I come back here, and I will grab the midtones in the colors, and maybe I will shift it green, okay? And in the exposure, I'm going to do the midtones a little bit so you don't lose too much. But remember the blacks, if you go too much, you lose the blacks, okay? So now I'm going to hit the V for visibility, and now I have the third one. Okay, so let's see if we can do this one in red. Okay, got a lot of red. But I'm going to go into the exposure, don't forget the exposure, and lighten it up. Okay, now, when you look at that, it doesn't look like much. But now I'm going to turn each one on again. Now, right above the middle to the lower left of the video clip in the canvas, you have these 3 little tools here. Under here, that's another valuable source of creativity, fun, and different things. Distort, down the road, we'll show that. Crop, that's obvious. You can make it smaller, larger, whatever, little pieces and stuff. But we're going to transform this. And I have to reduce this screen size. The keyboard shortcut is, again, Command-. And I just did that. So what I want to do is I want to bring this out a little bit. Okay. Oh, I happen to select this one, so you're not going to see it right away. But when I go up to this top one and I bring this one out a bit and shift it, okay, then I go back to my clip on the right-hand side, and under the blending mode, I'll go lighten. Okay. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'll make it larger. Oops, wrong side. I'm going to clip here, let you see. See, it's starting to do like double vision. Okay, so that's that one. So we're going to go into here. We're going to shift this one. Okay, that was the one that we shifted. That one is this one. And let's see about this one. Oh, we didn't blend that. So this one, the middle one, we didn't blend, so we're going to lighten this one as well. So see, now you're starting to see the 3 colors. And it's starting to look like, I think you've seen that effect where it's like 3D. Okay, so here we have it. And then if we shift this one, we can do that kind of stuff. Okay, so now we have it. And as you could see on the canvas, we're all within the frame. So we blew it up, enlarged it just ever so slightly, and then now we have that. Okay, so now we have to come back to the top left. And we're going under the third one from the far edge, and we're looking for solids. And we're going to grab a black solid. We're going to put the solid right in here. Okay. And I'm going to do the first one. So what you want to do is you want to grab the playhead and come to the very front and see if it affects anything. Okay. Of course you're not seeing anything, but that's good. Now, because it's been transformed right here in the middle lower left, now I can grab this and go like this, bring this up, and make that solid. Okay, so you can use the keyboard, oops, what made it go to the end? Okay, so now I could adjust it ever so slightly, right? Now, remember how I showed you before, if you hold the Option key down and click and drag, now I have a second one, and it's up on top, and I'll drag that one down to this part. So now I made the shadow box again, but it's short, so if I do it here, see what happens? I gotta lengthen these guys to the edge of that clip, and lengthen this one to the edge of the clip, and now when you do that, it keeps it right in there perfect, okay? And as you can see, it's like double exposure, kind of weird, kind of hypnotic, kind of psychedelic, if you will. Okay, so we got that part, and that's looking pretty good, and it renders pretty fast. Now we go into the middle button up on the top left, and next to the titles and the generators, and we go into here. I don't have any music, but under sound effects is kind of cool. There's a ton of sound effects, as you can see, and some of them are really, really short. Some of them are longer. See, here's 2 seconds, 13 seconds, 23 seconds. But I selected this one just because of the way the clip is. It's kind of slow and it kind of a little bit hypnotic. Okay, so I found this one that kind of works, and it's called Ambient Effect 2, and I click it and I drag it down. Okay, so what happens is it's only half of my video clip. Not a problem. Again, I could come up here and grab this and bring it down if I wanted to. Wow, it's shifting all around. That was cool. I didn't know I could do that. Anyways, but remember the Option key. Hold the Option key down, click, and drag it over. Now, if we look at this ever so slightly, we can see the hump, the sound hump, and it fades out towards the end of the clip, and then it fades in, fades out. Now, if I don't want it to do that because I need to block it, I just click it over, and as this one's fading out, this one's fading up, it should be fine. But remember how I told you that the tools kind of do stuff on their own? See what it did right there? It went, and this one would be the fade if you needed to fade it in. And then this is the edge to make it shorter and longer. Now, again, I have some missing sound right here, and only because I know stuff, I'll click the Option key, drag it down into here again, and then maybe do this again, and then grab the edge, and I shorten it to right there. Perfect. So now let's rewind it, and let's take a look at what we got. And it's kind of creepy, kind of hypnotic. The music is very, or the sound, it's kind of appropriate for it, just kind of like, am I in a dream? Is this a mermaid? Is this a siren? Am I gonna fall prey to the ocean? You know, that kind of stuff. Ta-da! And we did it. Now that's how, like I said, it's basic stuff, basic stuff. We got the HUD on the right, we got the browser on the left, and we got our tools and the things that come with Final Cut. We're selecting it into the timeline. We're using our keyboard shortcuts because, hey, guess what? You're in Final Cut, so you're supposed to be one level higher than like iMovie and some of the other basic ones. And knowing the keyboard shortcuts makes you go a little bit faster. And then we can duplicate stuff, we can shadow box it, and then when we're all done, we go to the very top right, and it's our share tool. When we click it, we decide what we want to do, and I export it as a master file, which I did, and it came out pretty darn cool. So cool. Hopefully you like this. As my version of a basic. I think I will do a basic class, but I have to kind of mellow out because I seem to get all excited and then go, oh, that's not really basic. But it is. It's basic tools. And remember, basic is a building block. Okay, hope you like it. See you on the next one.